true, and I think that's the reason why children are so happy all the time, because they're
Yeah.
living in the now. And
Yeah.
as you have seen life, Sahar, and you meet so many different people through the course of your profession, how much is past life regression therapy a huge impact on who you are? Does it help to know who you were in your past life?
Okay, that's a good question. And I always say it's not really good for everyone to know who they were. And actually, Rashmi, I think this is where most people have mistaken this therapy for. Actually, the therapy is not about who I was in the past. The therapy was what did I miss in the past, which I've come back to learn, right? So whether I was a king or a pauper or a warrior or a prostitute or a god's, son or whatever, it's not important. What did I miss in the past that for which I had to come back and learn? Because now what is the basis of past life regression is we are supposed to evolve and we are supposed to remember, means we go back and become one with who we were. And on earth, this is the story that we forget all that we know about the universe and all other universes. So inertia happens. And when once we are on earth, we don't remember even who we are, forget about what we are supposed to be doing here. So what happens is once we enter the system of the earth, which has its own universal laws, let's say law of karma, law of attraction, law of oneness, because we need to be reminded we have these laws. Sorry, because we need to be reminded. All other beings don't need to be reminded. It's a very straight thing. But then they don't have a choice of evolution, and we have. So as per the theory of past life regression or law of karma, whatever goes around comes around. And it means whatever starts from me in whichever way has to come back. Now, in due process of learning this and evolving, I would have missed some lesson somewhere. Let's say I came to learn unconditional love, right? And I went through this childhood conditioning. I didn't remember this was my lesson because I'm on earth. I went through a childhood conditioning where let's say the mother or stepmother or whoever was in that scenario showed me a lot of hatred and told me I am not good enough. Now, because I don't remember who I was, and now I've been told I'm so bad that I need to be hated. If I grow up and I start hating in that lifetime, and let's say I kill that person, I'll have to come back with the same person and then this person may become my husband. Now I'm supposed to love a person who hated me and taught me to hate myself. So now you can imagine what will happen in that relationship. So when we do past life, we want to go back and see what we missed, the lessons, and sometimes bring back the gifts. Let's say I was supposed to actually author this book. I was told it was a channel thing that I am supposed to write. And my clients, one after the other, would come through a past life or a soul macrocosm drama, and they all had the same message from their guides that tell her to write. But I couldn't till I went, and then I thought that I do this for everyone. Let me find out why am I not writing. So when I went back, I was an author who wrote a lot of truth and was actually beheaded for it. So the fear, if I write, I'm going to be killed, would not let me write. So the moment I saw that past life, I wrote that book in 42 days. Of course, editing and re-editing and the second, third draft took time, but just to put it down on paper took me 42 days. But I couldn't do it without going back to the past. So yeah,
Oh.
that is how the past life regression works.
Okay, okay. And for people who want to understand why they be, because Many Masters, Many Lives is a beautiful
Yeah.
book where Dr. Brandwas explains what the whole thing is. And
Yes.
some of the experiments towards the end, where in his workshops, the stories that come out are amazing to be true. They're that amazing.
I know.
And you're like, oh my God, is this past life regression? Maybe I'm curious. I should find out who I was. Now, everyone may not have the right inputs from the past life that can help them this life. Does it always help to heal when you do past life regression? Is it meant for all?
Um, if you have a pressing issue and you have tried a lot and you could not find an answer, like let's say I went through a relationship which I just couldn't understand, why should this be so bad, so disastrous. So then I did all my homework, I researched, I tried everything, and I couldn't. So then I went and saw a pastor. So I always feel that if you're just curious, then no, you should not, because especially if you don't have a therapist or a seasoned therapist with you, then you should not. Because whenever we open a lifetime, we open, let's say if you lived 80 years in that lifetime, we open the whole 80 years. And now if you're curious and you just want to know who you were, you open all the wounds of that life also, the things that were wrong, how you felt at the loss of a loved one, what happened. But because that, and you don't have actually an objective and a purpose of doing it, you're just opening your life, and it's like open a wound and leave it there. So obviously it's going to become a problem. But if you have a pressing issue, and your therapist should decide whether you need it or not. Like a lot of people come to me with wanting to see past life, but I recognize their issue is in the childhood. They don't need a past life for that. So then I suggest inner child to them. So in that case, yes. But it is important, people, even though Dr. Brian Weiss is my mentor and I have a lot of regards, but I feel, just listening to an audio and doing a past life is not a great idea, because when you're working with a therapist, you've already discussed things. And when you're in the altered state of mind, she's in her conscious mind. She can apply logic, or he can apply logic and realize where all the links are missing, and then guides you to all those corners and clear all the webs, so that once the session is closed, it doesn't need to be revisited. The wound is clean, clear, the stitched back, and just put aside. You don't have to go there for the same issue again and again, right? So I feel it is good, but it should be done the right way, because it's not really past life tourism. It's like really therapy. And I say we are the soul surgeons. We are going to cut your soul. So if you don't let someone cut your body, you should not just let someone cut your soul just like that, right? So yeah.
Wow, I love the word soul surgeon.